Good evening, children.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, children. Good evening. We finished the first one, right? This question.
Yes, ma'am.
What about this? What about this one, children? All right. Fine. But I think I was telling something about this one in the last class, right?
You explained how to do the sum.
Really? Fully?
No, ma'am, just like started.
Okay, thank you, Kanishka. Fine. So here, Jamila sold a table. Jamila sold a table and a chair for 1,050, thereby making a profit of 10% on the table. 1 minute, I feel. No, didn't I say that we have to use a special method here? And no problem, we can do it again, but you're sure, Kanishka, we didn't have the explanation completely?
You said about that special, that we have to use special method.
All right. So Jamila sold a table and a chair for 1,050, thereby making a profit of 10% on the table and 25% on the chair. If she had taken a profit of 25% on the table and 10% on the chair, so if the profits were exchanged, 25% on the table and 10% on the chair, she would have got 1,065. Find the cost price of each. So let me just tell you how to find the selling price here. The selling price. So what is given is this is the total selling price. This one is the total selling price. How do we know that it's not the total? It's not the total profit margin. This one is the total. There is a difference between the total profit margin and the total selling price. This one is a total selling price because it's given here. Jamila sold a table. Sold. The word sold is very important here. Sold a table and a chair for. Sold for 1,050. She sold it for 1,050. That means this is the selling price. Jamila sold a table and a chair for. She sold it for 1,050. You sell something for 100 rupees. I sold this for 100 rupees. That means that is the selling price. That's not your profit. So 1,050 and 1,065 are the total selling prices. That is the selling price of the table and the selling price of the chair together. And how do we find the selling price? How do we find the selling price? Selling prices, cost price. Selling prices, cost price plus profit. Okay. Now, supposing we say the let the CP of the table, CP of the table is X, rupees X, and let the CP of the table be, don't write anything. CP of the chair. CP of the chair, let the CP of the chair, the cost price of the chair be Y. Let the cost price of the table be X and let the cost price of the chair be Y. So how do we find the selling price? The selling price is, now for the table, the selling price of the table will be the cost price of the table X plus the selling price of the table will be the cost price of the table X plus the profit. What's the profit on selling the table? 10%. 10% of X, because profit is always calculated on the cost price. 10% is the profit made on selling the table. So 10% of X is the cost price. So that will be X plus 10% means 10 by 100 of X into X. So it is X plus, you can cancel out this. So X by 10. On taking the LCM, it will be 11x by 10. This is the selling price. Remember, selling price is CP plus profit or CP minus loss. CP minus loss. Selling price is cost price plus the profit. In case of loss, it is the cost price minus loss. So CP of the table is X. The profit on selling the table is 10%. 10% of what? Percentage is based on something. Should be calculated using some value. 10% of the cost price, X. So 10% means 10 by 100. Off means into X. So it's X by 10. X by 10 is only the profit margin. Add that to the cost price. So this is the selling price. And this is how we find the selling price of the table chair also. So selling price of the chair. Selling price of the chair will be the cost price of the chair plus the profit on selling the chair. The cost price of the chair is Y plus the profit on selling the chair is 25% of Y. Of Y. So it's Y plus 25% means 25 by 100. Off means into Y. You can simplify and it's Y by 4. Y plus Y by 4. Y by 4 is only the profit portion. When you add the profit to the cost price Y, you will get the selling price. On taking LCM, it's 5Y by 4. So this is the selling price. So like this, you have to find the selling price in both the cases. And the sum of the two selling prices is equal to 1050. And in the other case, the sum of the selling prices is 1065. So let's see the answer. So you can see here, this is case 1. Case 1, selling price of the table is CP of the table plus the profit. CP is X. We've called the CP of the table X, chair Y, 10% of X. So you understand this. Then selling price of the chair, CP of the chair plus profit. Y plus 25% of Y. So Y plus 25 by 100 into Y. You can cancel 1s are 4s are. So you will get Y by 4. Y by 4. On taking LCM, you will get 5Y by 4. So this is the selling price of the table, selling price of the chair. The total selling price is 1050. In case 1, the total selling price is 1050. That is this selling price of the table plus the selling price of the chair is the total selling price of 1050. So that's the first equation. Selling price of the table plus the selling price of the chair is equal to 1050. Then LCM cross multiply, you get this. Case 2, the profits are exchanged. Selling price of the table is same thing, CP of the table plus profit. So earlier, the profit on the table was 10%. Here in the second case, it's 25%. So find the selling price of the table. In the first case or in case 1, the profit on selling the chair was 25%. In case 2, it is 10%. 10%. So find the new meaning the selling price of the table and chair in the second case. Selling price of the table, selling price of the chair. Now it's given that the selling price of the table plus the selling price of the chair is 1065. That means 5x by 4 plus 11y by 10 is equal to 1065. LCM cross multiply and get the other equation. So this is the first one. This is the first one. And this is the second one. LCM cross multiply and you get this equation. Now, if you look at these two equations, when you look at these two equations, you can see that the coefficients of X and Y. Children, cross multiplication method has been deleted this year. Last year also it was deleted. It was removed from the syllabus for last year and as well as this year. So you may not, your teacher may not award you marks if you solve. Nobody's video is on except Ramnathan. Can I see you all, children? Thank you. Please keep it on. Yeah. Yeah, so since cross multiplication method has been removed from the syllabus for this year also, don't solve given any pair of linear equations in two variables x and y. Don't use the cross multiplication method. See, I taught you. That's a different thing. Meaning we understood, we learned in the class. Maybe you've also learned it in school. Your teacher has explained it to you. But to be safe, don't use that method. You may not get marks. Even if you solve it correctly using that method, you may not be awarded marks if you use that method. So use the elimination method or the substitution method, and where applicable, use the where applicable, use the special method.
Ma'am, our class teacher also told that one.
Yeah, okay. Correct. Whatever is been removed from the syllabus for this year, you should not apply those concepts.
Ma'am, don't we have cross multiplication then for this exam? Teachers didn't inform about it.
Kanishka, come again.
Can't we use cross multiplication method, ma'am, for this year syllabus?
Yeah, because it's removed from the syllabus for this year. You should not use that method to solve a pair of linear equations in two variables x and y.
Okay, ma'am. In school they didn't inform, ma'am.
Okay. You have learned that method in school?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's what. Sometimes teachers want to, introduce that to the students. It's better you don't use.
Okay,
You can, if your teacher has given any specific instruction regarding the deleted portions, you follow what your teacher says. But what I'm saying is also correct. Whatever is deleted, don't use those concepts to solve.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, so use the elimination method or the substitution method, and use the special method wherever applicable. All right, children. So like this, we have two equations in x and y. And since the coefficients are exchanged, you can see 22, 22, 25, 25. Since the coefficients are exchanged, we could use a special method to solve these two equations. So here you see equation 1 plus equation 2. Add the two equations, get a new equation. Take out, see, these are the two equations we saw in the previous slide. These are the two equations. Add the two equations, equation 1 plus equation 2. Add the two equations. 47 is common. 47 common. X plus y is equal to 42,300. X plus y is equal to 42,300 by 47, which is 900. So we have another simple equation, x plus y is equal to 900. Now, take up those two equations, the original equations 1 and 2. Equation 1 minus equation 2. When it is equation 1 minus equation 2, you need to change the signs in the second equation. See, here we did not change the signs. That means we are adding the two equations. Change the signs in the second equation throughout. So plus becomes minus, plus here is minus, and plus here is minus. So change the signs. When you change the signs, you're subtracting the two equations. So that will be 22x minus 25x minus 3x. 25y minus 22y plus 3y. 21,000 minus 21,300 minus 300. Minus 3 is common. Minus 3 common. Then it goes for division on the other side. Goes for division on the other side, and you can see the other equation. X minus y is equal to minus 100. X minus y is equal to minus 100. Now solve equations 3 and 4 to find the values of x and y. Solve equations 3 and 4 to find the values of x and y. X plus y is equal to 900. X minus y is equal to 100. Solve these two equations. 2x is equal to 1000. X is 500. Then substitute the value of x in equation 3 or 4. In 3 or 4. You can also put it in 1 or 2. Get the same answer. We have 4 equations now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Any one equation. Since 3 and 4 are simpler than 1 and 2, we use it in 3 or 4. And we get the value of y. So the CP of the table is X, which is 500 rupees, and the CP of the chair is Y, which is 400 rupees. Take a screenshot, children. Done, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this I've been thinking of sharing with you for a long time. I think from this point, maybe I forgot to share, or I might have told you, maintain different books for different chapters. I think that will be more convenient. If you have one, long ruled notebook, and you have some 2, 3 chapters in it, the condition of the book also might get bad when you use it for a long time. And then if you have to refer, practice something using the tuition notebook, it should be in a good condition. Plus, you shouldn't be hunting for the sums. You shouldn't be like, finding where what is. So if you can maintain one book for every chapter, small notebook, a small notebook, you don't have to. I'm not specifying that you must have a long rule notebook or whatever book. Some children like to use diaries because, we get a lot of diaries as compliments, whatever. Whatever. But it will be convenient to have different books for different chapters. So that, it's easy to pick. You can just pick the book. So if you want to revise polynomials, there is one book in which you have everything of polynomials, pick it and revise from that. And also because when I'll be opening different chapters simultaneously, so it will be convenient for you to record your problems also. So like say I'm doing linear equations this class, and suddenly I share a video on trigonometry. So next class we do trigonometry, supposing. So then you will not have the continuation. You will have linear equations and then suddenly trigonometry. Suddenly one day test on statistics. Then some homework on polynomials. So then, it will not be organized. The problems will not be organized in your book. You will have, in one book, you will have things from different chapters. So it becomes difficult to revise. So suggested is one book for every chapter. So maybe one book will not be sufficient. So then in that case, we'll have to, so linear equation, suppose we finish that trigonometry, say you buy one book and, that you need another book, the chapter has not come to an end and you need another book, yeah, then maintain another book. So you might have 2 books for trigonometry. Should I be more clear on this? Get that, all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Class, use the emoji, raise your hand. Ananya, Rajarajeshwari, Ramanathan, Kanishka, Tarun, Sashmin, Meera, Murali Krishna, Deepika, Tarun, and I can see Sneha and Harini. Okay. All right. Yes, children, if we haven't done it, I don't know if I shared this with you earlier. If I haven't, let's do it from today. Does that sound meaningful? How many of you feel it's a stupid idea? I haven't heard of anything like this earlier. In school itself, we have one book, and this lady is asking us to maintain 15 books. Then 15 chapters I have, so 15 books for 15 chapters. So if you feel it's a stupid idea, kindly go ahead with whatever you feel is right. It was just a suggestion from my end. All right. Yeah. So here a man invested an amount, we don't know, X, at 12% simple interest, and another amount, we don't know, Y, at 10% per annum simple interest. So a man invested an amount, X, at 12% per annum simple interest. Per annum meaning for 1 year. Simple interest, not compound interest, simple interest. Per annum meaning for 1 year. Annum, annual, annual. Per annum, per year, per means for, per annum, annual, per year, meaning for 1 year, 1 year. Per annum simple interest is a kind of interest. So we have two different kinds of interest, simple and compound. So this is simple interest, PTR by 100. We have done this earlier. We are repeating. So a man invested an amount. So let that amount be X at 12% simple interest, 12% per annum simple interest, and another amount Y at 10% per annum simple interest. He received an annual interest. Look at this. He received an annual interest. The interest is annual interest. From what will he receive annual interest? From this investment of rupees X and from this other investment of rupees Y. He's invested two amounts. This man has invested two different amounts, rupees X, rupees Y. Rupees X at 12% simple interest, rupees Y 10% simple interest. So at the end of the year, he will get interest on rupees X, he will get interest on rupees Y. These two interests put together is equal to 2,600. These two interests put together, annual interest, that is the interest at the end of the year. He received an annual interest. Interest he'll get from X and Y. He'll get interest from the investment of rupees X. He'll also get interest from the investment of rupees Y. The two interests put together is equal to 2,600. But if he had interchanged the amounts invested, so that means this one he had invested at 12%, and this one he had invested at 10%. Had he interchanged, first it was X at 12% and Y at 10%. Had he interchanged the amounts invested, so if he had invested Y at 12% and X at 10%, had he interchanged the amounts invested, that is Y at 12% and X at 10%, he would have received rupees 140 less as annual interest. So what is 2,600 minus 140? 2,460, right? He would have received an annual interest of rupees 2,460. He would have received rupees 140 less, not 140 as interest, rupees 140 less than what he had got in the earlier type of investment. So 2,600 minus 140, 2,460. What amounts did he invest at different rates? So the formula to find the annual interest is PTR by 100. The formula to find the annual interest is PTR. Principal into time into rate by 100. Principal into time into rate by 100. Into time into rate by 100. Sometimes we call it PNR by 100. Which is also principal into number of years into rate. Time also called number of years into rate by 100. So principal is like X or Y. Okay. Principal is that X or Y. Interest is that 12%, 10%. That because it's a percentage, that 100 down here. See, when it is 12%, it is 12 by 100, right? So that's what it is. That is only this 100. So you should not put another 100. So interest is 12%. So 12, that's all. By 100 is already there in the formula. PTR by 100. Sorry, I didn't write it correctly. So PTR by 100 or PNR by 100. Principal can be X or Y. Time is 1 because annual interest. So time is 1 because annual interest. Annual means 1 year. So time is 1 into rate. Rate is that 10%, 12%. That is a rate. Rate is 10 or that 12%. That is a rate. And when it is percentage, it is by 100. No, that's what you see, this 100 in the formula. So don't put another 100. 12% means 12 by 100. So don't use another 100. It's already there in the formula. That's all. So you can see here the annual interest. So you can see the assumption here. Okay. So the annual interest on X, rupees X, the annual interest on rupees X, PTR, principal X, time 1 year, rate 12% by 100. So 12x by 100. You can also simplify. I didn't simplify. You can also simplify. I'll tell you why I didn't simplify. Then annual interest on Y, rupees Y. Principal is Y. Time is 1 year. Rate is 10% by 100. So 10y by 100. What is this? What is this? What will PTR by 100 give us or PNR by 100 give us? The simple interest. It's a formula to find the simple interest. It's a formula to find the simple interest. Simple interest is the interest alone is equal to PTR by 100 or PNR by 100. So that's what I've written. Annual interest meaning that annual simple interest. That annual simple interest. So this is the interest on rupees X. We have used the formula PTR by 100 children to find the interest on X rupees and Y rupees. So the interest on X rupees, is this one. The interest on Y rupees is this one. What's the total interest? 2,600. That means this interest plus this interest is equal to 2,600. See, 12x by 100 plus 10y by 100 is equal to 2,600, the total interest. Now, common denominator 100. You can see common denominator 100. So you'll get 12x plus 10y in the numerator is equal to 2,600. Upon cross multiplying, you get this. And then when you divide by 2 throughout, you get this. It's not that you should divide only by 2. The highest common factor of 12, 10 and this number is 2. You cannot divide by any other number throughout further. Further, after this, you cannot divide throughout by any other number. So I didn't simplify because straight away we can take the common denominator 100. Otherwise, again, we have to find the LCM. Even if you simplify, you will get the same equation. Finally, all of us will get the same equation. I did not simplify because if we have the denominator as 100, it's easy to take the common denominator 100 and then you cross multiply, divide every term by 2, divide every term by 2 and get this equation. In case 2, the total interest is 2,600 minus 140, which is 2,460. This is the total interest. So again, find the interest on X rupees and Y rupees. The rates are interchanged. The rates are exchanged. Here X is 12%. Here X is 10%. It's given in the question. Here Y is 10%. Here Y is 12%. It is given in the question. If the amounts, if the rates were exchanged, but if you had interchanged the amounts invested, he would have received 140 less. So X at 10% and here X was at 12%. He's interchanged. So X at 10%. Here Y at 10%. Here Y at 12%. So find the simple interest. This is simple interest on X. This is a simple interest on Y. Add this interest plus this interest is equal to the total interest of 2,460. Common denominator 100, cross multiply. Common denominator 100, then cross multiply. You get this. And again, when you divide by 2 throughout, you get this equation. So this is equation 1. This is equation 1, what you see here. And this is equation 2, what you see here. And again, you see that the coefficients are exchanged. So you can use a special method. Even if you solve using the elimination method, you will get the same answer for X and Y. Or you use a substitution method. Supposing you don't notice and without, instead of solving by the special method, you have applied the elimination or the substitution method. You will still get the same answer. It will be a little more tedious, that's all. You get the same answer. So we can use a special method here because the coefficients are exchanged 6, 6, 5, 5. The signs need not match. It can be -5 plus 5, -6 plus 6. The thing is the absolute value, that is not including not considering the sign. The coefficients are exchanged. So we can use a special method. So you know what the special method is. Add the two equations, subtract the two equations. Then whenever you use this method, there will be something common. So say here 11x plus 11y is equal to 2,53,000. 2,53,000. Are we all listening?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So every time you use a special method, you can take out, there will be something common between the three terms. When you add the two equations, this is the new equation we get. And there will be something common between the three terms. So 11 is common. 11, this number is divisible by 11. Take out 11 common. So 11 of x plus y is equal to this one. X plus y is equal to 2,53,000 divided by 11. And this division gives you 23,000. That is the third equation. Equation 1 minus equation 2. That means change the signs throughout in the second equation. So 6x minus 5x, x. 5y minus 6y. 5y minus 6y, minus y. And whatever this number minus this number is 7,000. So now don't ask me, there is nothing common here. Okay, x minus y is equal to 7,000. So this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Solve these two equations, equation 3 and equation 4. So plus y minus y gets cancelled. So on solving, you first find the value of x. Substituting, you can find the value of y. So 15,000 x, 15,000 is the amount invested at 12% per annum simple interest, and 8,000 is the amount invested at 10% per annum simple interest. Yeah, take a screenshot, children. Oh, question. This is the question. This is the question. Okay. Each one of A and B has some money. How much they have B is not given. Each one of A and B has some money. I don't know if it is has or have. Okay, each one of A and B have some money. Each one of A and B has some money. Okay, I don't know. It looks like have some money. So if A gives rupees, okay, let's say that A has, let's say that A has rupees X and B has rupees Y and B has rupees Y. They have some money. We don't know how much each of them have. So X and Y. If A gives rupees 30 to B, so this is X, this is what A has, this is what B has. Okay, so A gives 30 to B. So when A gives 30, minus 30 from his money, and B is receiving 30, so plus 30 here. A has X rupees, B has Y rupees. A is giving 30, so that means X minus, he will have 30 rupees less now. So X minus 30. On the other hand, B is receiving 30 rupees. If A is giving 30 rupees to B, B is receiving 30 rupees. So now he will have Y plus 30. Then B will have, this is B. B will have meaning equal to. B will have, B, this is B. B will have twice the money left with A. See here, B, this is B. B will have meaning equal to. B will have twice the money left with A. Just convert everything that is in given, everything that's given in words to an equation using constants and variables. We'll see it again, the same thing again. A has X, B has Y. A is giving 30, so B is getting 30. According to the information given, B, in this case, B will have, so this B, this is only B. B will have meaning equal to. B will have twice the money left with A. Twice means 2 times. So 2 into X minus 30. This is the money left with A. This is the money left with A. B will have 2 times this money. 2 times whatever is left with A. B will have 2 times the money left with A. This is what is left with A. 2 times that. So 2 into. Then you can open the bracket, have XY on one side and construct the equation. So that will be the first equation. But if B gives, read the question ahead. But if B gives 10 to A, then A will have thrice as much as is left with B. Okay. So again, X and Y. Come again. Forget now the first case where A gives 30 to B. That's over. Now start afresh. Again, now A has X and B has Y. Start new. Second case, start new. Again, A has X and B has Y. Don't think A is already given 30 rupees to B. So A now has only X minus 30. No. That is one case. That's over. Now come back to their original money. A has X, B has Y. If B gives 10 to A, so now B is giving. B gives 10, so B has Y. He gives 10, so minus 10. A is receiving 10, so plus 10. So this is what is left with B, and this is what A has. If B gives 10 to A, so minus 10 from B, plus 10 to A, then A will have, so we'll come from here. This is A, see here, this is A. Then A, this is A, will have, meaning equal to, will have, equal to, will have thrice as much is left with B. How much is left with B? This is left with B. Thrice as much as left with B. This is what is left with B. Thrice as much as is left with B. So 3 times what is left with B. This is what is left with B. 3 times that. So 3 into. So again, when you open the bracket and bring X and Y on one side, constant on the other side, you will get the other equation in X and Y. Solve to find the values of X and Y. Solve to find the values of X and Y. I'll give you some time to go through the slide. Take a screenshot. Here you have the question also.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, your presentation is not visible for me.
Now or for a long time, Ramanathan?
Now,
Try to leave the meeting and rejoin.
ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Class, is my audio stable? Is it clear, children? My audio?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Lower your hands, class. All of you lower your hands.
Now it is visible.
Okay, lower your hands. Are you there? Meera, Sashmin, and Deepika, lower your hands. Meera and Sashmin. Yeah, Ramnath. So since it was given B, I've written from B here. See, see here, B will have. So this is what B has. B will have twice as much as left with A. So I've written B first. B will have twice as much as left with A. Then here, A will have thrice as much as left with B. Then, yeah, you know how to simplify further. When you have this, you know how to simplify. Have x and y on one side, the number or the constant on the other side. Equation 1, equation 2. Solve the two equations and find the values of x and y. Take a picture, children. Next one. The students of a class. The Ramnathan, visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The students of a class are made to stand in rows. The students of a class are made to stand in rows. In rows, okay, rows. So you know these are rows. These are rows and these are columns. These are columns. They are made to stand in rows. They are made to stand in rows like this. The students of a class are made to stand in rows. If 4 students are extra in each row, so the other way of saying columns. 1 minute. Let me just use dots and. Okay, I'm not doing any rangoli pattern. So these are students. So how many students, children? Oh, sorry, how many rows? How many rows, children? How many rows? Why is my presentation incorrect? I'm getting nervous now. How many rows? Okay, I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong in what I've done. Don't, if I say that this is the first row, this is the second row, this is the third row, this is the fourth row, is my presentation incorrect?
It's correct, ma'am.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted the answer 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. 4 rows. And how many columns are there?
5, ma'am.
5 columns, 5 columns. The other way of asking or the other way of expressing number of columns is a number of students in each row, in each row. How many students in each row, children? How many? 5 students in each row. How many students in each row? 5 students in each row. Okay, the dots represent, each dot represents 1 student. I'm giving that information very late. Number of students in each row. My question is number of students in each row. So 1 row. How many students? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 students. So number of students in each row, 5. And the same as the answer for number of columns. If I ask you how many columns, same thing you will say. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the other way of expressing the number of columns is the number of students in each row. Number of students in each row means number of columns. Also represents number of columns. That is the number of students in each row. The answer for number of students in each row and number of columns will be the same. Number of rows we understand. Number of rows. Number of columns also we understand. Number of columns will be the same as number of students in each row. Number of columns is the same as number of students in each row. All right. So now in this representation, there are 4 rows and 5 columns. So that means 4 into 5, 20 students or 20 dots. 4 rows, 5 columns. So number of students, rows into columns or columns into rows, 20. You won't actually count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You will not count 1, 2, 3, 4 rows and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. 4 into 5, 20. Rows into columns, number of students. Number of students. This is number of students in each row. Don't get confused. Number of students is the total number of students. Number of students is a total number of students. This is number of students in each row, which is also the number of columns. The students of a class are made to stand in rows. Okay, if so, let the number of rows be X and let the number of students in each row. Let the number of students in each row. That is the number of columns. That's nothing but the number of columns. That's nothing but the number of columns. Let the number of students in each row be Y. So from this assumption, total number of students is equal to XY. Total number of students is equal to number of rows into number of columns, X into Y or XY. XY students. There are XY students in this class. So how do you make the equations? Number of rows into number of columns is equal to the total number of students, which is XY. See, number of students in the class are fixed. You may make them stand in different rows and different columns. but the number of students in the class will not change. The number of rows and columns can change, but the total number of students in the class cannot, that will be the same. If there are 50 students in a class, there are 50 students in a class. You may arrange them in different number of rows and columns. You may arrange them in different number of rows and columns, but the number of students will be 50. They will not increase or decrease just because you're increasing or decreasing the number of rows and columns. So the new number of rows into the new number of columns will be equal to the same number of students xy. That's how you construct the equation. The new number of rows into the new number of columns is equal to the same number of students xy. That's how you construct both the equations. Number of rows into number of columns is equal to xy. Number of students will not change. So now let's, like fill the brackets with the number of rows and number of columns. So in the first case, if 4 students are extra in each row, that's the number of columns. 4 students are extra in each row, that is the number of columns. There would be 2 rows less. 2 rows less, so x minus 2. See, x is the number of rows. X is the number of rows. 2 rows less, x minus 2. How many students are there in each row? Y. There will be 4 students extra in each row. So that means the number of columns are increasing. So the new number of rows into the new number of columns is equal to the same number of students xy is the first equation. See the second one. If 4 students are less in each row, see here, number of students in each row means number of columns. Number of students in each row is the number of columns, which is y. Which is y. 1 second, children. Number of Number of students in each row is nothing but the number of columns, which is y. So what's the second part? If 4 students are less in each row, 4 students are less in each row, number of students in each row y. 4 students are less in each row, there would be 4 rows more. How many rows? X. There'll be 4 rows more. Number of rows into number of columns is equal to the same number of students xy. Am I clear, children?
Yes,
No
yes,
answer?
ma'am.
So here is the first equation. Here is what I told you first. This one. Number of rows x, number of students in each row y. I've written in bracket here, number of students in each row is also equal to the number of columns. That's for your information. You don't have to write this. Meaning you write it in your notebook. This you need not mention in your test or exam. That's just for our information. Number of rows x, number of students in each row y, which is the number of columns. Then the total number of students is xy. So case 1 is number of students in each row. 4 more students in each row. So y plus 4. Number of rows x minus 2 as per the information. But the total number of students will be the same xy. So number of rows into number of columns is equal to total number of students. So how do you open the bracket? You know that, right? X into y plus 4 minus 2 into y plus 4. You know how to multiply. X into the second bracket y plus 4 minus 2 into the second bracket y plus 4. So that will give you x into y, xy, x into 4, 4x, then minus 2 into y, minus 2y. This one is minus 8. Open the bracket and you get this is equal to xy is equal to xy is equal to xy. Xy on either side gets cancelled. Xy on either side gets cancelled. And then you have this equation in x and y. Take this 8 to the other side. And then divide by 2 throughout. Divide by 2 throughout. Divide this one by 2, this one by 2, and this one by 2. So that's the first equation. So case 2, if there are 4 students less in each row, 4 students less in each row, number of rows, a number of students in each row is y. So number of students here, in case 2, number of students in each row is 4 less, so y minus 4. Number of rows, 4 more rows, so x plus 4. Total number of students, xy. Number of rows into number of columns is equal to total number of students. X into y, xy, x into minus 4x, plus 4 into y, plus 4y, plus 4 into minus 4, minus 16 is equal to xy. Xy on either sides gets cancelled. Then this is the x term, y term, take the number to the other side and divide the equation throughout by 4. Divide by 4, divide by 4, divide by 4. And that's your second equation. Solve the two equations for x and y. Solve the two equations for x and y. So x is the number of rows and this is the number of columns or the number of students in each row. Or we have to find the total number. Oh, here the question we have. Or we have to find the total number of students in the class, which is xy, So 12 into 8, 96 students. 12 into 8, 96 students. Please go through the slide and take a screenshot, children. Children, I'll do it again if you don't understand. Any questions you have, children?
No doubt, ma'am.
Taken a picture?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Similar, some children. So here also, the area of a rectangle gets reduced. Similar meaning you will get an equation like this where xy gets cancelled on both the sides. So I've grouped such questions. The area of a rectangle gets reduced by 67 square meters when its length is increased by 3 meters and breadth is decreased by 4 meters. Now, this is a rectangle, children. See, this is a rectangle. When you alter its length and breadth, area will be altered. Don't, the earlier question was about number of students. So the number of students in a class or in some particular place, number of students is fixed. The students are made to stand in different number of rows and columns. The students may be arranged in different number of rows and columns. but the number of students will be the same. Here, it's a rectangle. You're altering the dimensions. You're increasing. It's a rectangle. You're drawing a rectangle. You increase the length, you decrease the breadth, or you decrease the length, you increase the breadth. The area will be altered. The area will not be the same. If they say the area remains the same, okay. So now, like, you draw a rectangle like this of, say, dimensions 8 and 2. Then you draw something like this. A square is also a rectangle, 4 and 4. The area is not altered. 8 2s are 16, 4 4s are 16. Just a minute, children. Yes, children. So if it is given that, in spite of altering the dimensions, the area remains unaltered.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
Why? All of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Am I audible or not?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Now, Harini, Sneha, audible or not? Can't hear me?
Ma'am, I can't hear you, ma'am.
Okay, leave and join again. You can't hear that also. Leave the meeting and try to join. My God. All right. Class, use the emoji. Raise your hand. Taran Murali, Raja Rajeshwari, Ramanathan, Deepika, Ananya, Shreyas, Meera, Kanishka, Murali Krishna, Sneha, Harini, Sashmin. Sashmin. All right. So that's different. In the earlier question, number of students will not increase or decrease when you make them arrange. When you arrange them in different number of rows and columns. This is a rectangle. A rectangle gets reduced. The area of a rectangle gets reduced by 67 square meters when its length is increased by 3 meters and breadth is decreased by 4 meters. If the length is reduced by 1 meter and breadth is increased by 4 meters, the area is increased by 89 square meters. So any change made to the length and breadth, alteration in the length and breadth will also alter the area. The area may be increased or decreased. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. So the length Yeah, so let the length of the rectangle be x meters. Let the breadth be y meters. So in case one, length is increased. The new length is x plus 3. And the new breadth is, okay, the area will be xy. The original area will be xy. If the length is x meters, the breadth is y meters, the area will be length into breadth, x into y square meters. If the length is x meters and the breadth is y meters, the area of the rectangle, the original area of the rectangle will be L into B, x into y, square meters. Case 1. The length is increased by 3 meters. So x is the original length. It's increased by 3. The breadth is decreased by 4 meters. The original breadth is y. It's decreased by 4 meters. This is the new length. This is the new breadth. What is a new area? The new length into the new breadth will be equal to the new area. What's the new area? It's the original area minus 67. Because the area is reduced by 67 meters square. The area is reduced by 67 meters square. Area is reduced meaning whatever is the original area, that is reduced by 67 meters square. The new length into the new breadth is equal to the new area. This is the first equation. The second one, if the length is reduced by 1 meter, the new length is x minus 1. It's reduced by 1 meter and the breadth is increased by 4 meters. This is the breadth. This is the original breadth. The new breadth is y plus 4 because it's increased by 4 meters. This is the new breadth. The new length is x minus 1. The new breadth is y plus 4, increased by 4 plus 4. The area is increased by 89 meters square. So this is the original area that is increased by 89 meters square. Why we writing equal to? Because this is the new length. This is the new breadth. What is L into B? Area. What is L into B? Area. So new length into new breadth is equal to the new area. And what is the new area? The original area plus 89. Because the area is increased by 89 meters square. Murali Krishna. Can you hear me, Murali Krishna? Tarun Murali, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Can you repeat? Can you explain this one? Can you construct the equations for this word problem?
Ma'am, 3x minus 4y is equal to 67.
How do you assume the length and breadth?
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am. Let the length be x, ma'am.
Okay.
And breadth be y, ma'am. Y meters.
Okay.
And for the construction equation, 3x.
What is the original area? What figure is it? Is it a triangle?
Ma'am, rectangle.
It's a rectangle. So what's the original area?
Length into breadth, ma'am.
Yeah. So L into B, meaning x into y, meaning xy. What is the unit for area?
Ma'am, square, ma'am. Square meters. Meter square.
Okay. Now case 1. What is the new length?
Ma'am, x plus 4, ma'am.
The new length is?
3x.
Okay, 3x means 3 times the length.
X plus 3, ma'am.
Increased decrease means you should add or subtract.
X plus 3.
Because it's increased by 3 meters. So the original length plus 3. Okay. What's the new breadth?
Y minus 4, ma'am.
So what's the new area?
XY minus 67.
Now what's the equation? The new length into the new breadth is equal to the new area. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Tell me.
X plus 3.
Yeah.
Y minus 4.
Into y minus 4.
4 is equal to XY minus 67.
Very good. Very good. When I called out Murali Krishna, there was no answer. Good, Tarun Murali, you were right. So children, here is the solution. Take a screenshot. You can see the question and the answer. Go through the answer. Ask me your questions. So how to multiply is the first term x with the second bracket y minus 4 plus 3 into y minus 4. X into y, x into minus 4. 3 into y, 3 into minus 4. See, because sometimes we think it is just x into y and 3 into minus 4. First term, second bracket. Then the second term, second bracket. So xy will get cancelled on both the sides. Xy and xy will get cancelled. So you will get a linear equation in x and y from the two cases. Solve, find the values of x and y. And they are the original length and breadth of the rectangle. All of you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, children. A train covered a certain distance at a uniform speed. A train covered a certain distance at a uniform speed. If the train had been 5 kilometers, 5 kilometer per hour, kilometer per hour, kmph, kilometer per hour. If the train had been 5 kilometer per hour faster, it would have taken 3 hours less than the scheduled time. And if the train were slower by 4 kilometers per hour, it would have taken 3 hours more than the scheduled time. Find the length of the journey. So in this question, like the question where we had rows, columns, number of students, there the number of students are fixed. Similarly, here the length of the journey is fixed. The length of the journey is fixed. Say the distance between your home and school is fixed. If you cycle faster, if you increase your speed, you will reach your school in less time. If you cycle slowly, then you take more time to reach your school. But the distance, you should take the same route. If you take different routes, then the distance will be different. If you take different routes, then the distance, of course, will be different. So I'm saying you take a fixed route to your school regularly. You take one fixed route to your school regularly. So then the distance between your home and school is fixed. If you take the same route every day, then the distance between your home and school is fixed. So in this case, you cycle slowly, you will take more time to reach school. You cycle faster or you cycle fast, you increase your speed, then you take less time. But the distance between your home and school is the same. That does not increase or decrease. Length of the journey is the distance. Length of the journey is the distance. The distance between two places does not increase or decrease due to increase or decrease in speed and time. You can change the speed and time. More speed, less time. Less speed, more time. Speed and time are inversely proportional. Speed and time are inversely proportional. Less speed, more time. More speed, less time. But the distance is the same. That is what is here. So like in which question where we had rows, columns and number of students. In the earlier one, that rectangle sum area will increase or decrease. When you increase the length, increase the breadth, how will the area be the same? The area also will increase or decrease. But here the length of the journey is fixed. Okay, so here assume the speed and time always. In a question like this, always assume you have to find the length of the journey. You have to find distance. We'll assume the speed and time. So let the speed be x kilometer per hour. Let the speed, what is it here? Train. Let the actual speed of the train be x kilometer per hour. And let the actual time taken. Let the actual time taken be y hours. Y hours. So the distance between the two places is speed into time. Distance is speed into time. So speed is x, time is y. So xy kilometers is the actual, the length of the journey, is the distance. This is fixed. Let the usual speed of the train be x kilometer per hour. So when the train travels at x kilometer per hour, it reaches its destination in y hours. So time taken is y hours. The usual time taken, usual speed x, usual time taken y. The distance, not the usual distance, okay? The distance is, or the length of the journey is speed into time. Distance is speed into time. X into y, kilometers. This is the assumption. Though we have to find the length of the journey, don't assume the length of the journey. Assume speed and time and find the length of the journey like this, xy kilometers. Now, case one. Case one. So speed into time, the equation, the formula used to construct the equation. The formula used to construct the equation. The formula used to construct the equation is speed into time is equal to distance. Speed into time is equal to distance. All right. So that is the formula we'll be using to construct the equation. Speed into time is equal to distance. That is the new speed into new time is the same distance. Okay, what is the new speed? If the train had been 5 kilometers per hour faster, so x plus 5, correct? it would have taken 3 hours less than the scheduled time. Usual time is y, 3 hours less. So this new speed into the new time is equal to the actual distance xy. Speed into time is equal to distance. That formula we know. This is the formula we are using to construct the equation also. This is the new speed into the new time taken is equal to the same distance xy. Like you increase your speed, you will take less time, but the distance between your home and school is fixed, the same distance. Case 2, speed. If the train were slower by 4 kilometers per hour, so minus 4, slower, so x minus 4. It would have taken 3 hours more, so y plus 3. So less speed, more time, same distance is equal to xy. So xy, when you open the brackets, when you multiply the two brackets, the terms in the two brackets, xy will get cancelled on both the sides. You will get two linear equations in x and y. Solve to find the values of x and y. Go through the slide, children. So this is the new speed. This is the new time taken. Speed into time is the same distance. Speed into time is the same distance xy. Formula used is speed into time is equal to distance. Any questions, children? Please
No,
respond. So what is the formula used to construct the equations? What is the formula used to construct the equations?
Distance is equal to speed into time.
Distance is equal to speed into time. The distance is fixed, right? The distance between the two places is fixed. So it's always xy. Speed and time will change. New speed into new time is equal to the distance xy. I think it's time. This will take about 15 minutes. Yeah, we'll do this one, children. This will take a long time to explain. So we'll do this in the next class. Took a picture of this one, children.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 8, we'll do it in the next class. We need more time to understand that. This is easy. we'll just finish this and wind up the session for today. So 5 years ago, 5 years ago, A was thrice as old as B, and 10 years later, A shall be twice as old as B. What are the present ages of A and B? So tell me, let A's age be X years. A's present age. A's present age be X years. B's present age be Y years. So first it is 5 years ago. So A's age 5 years ago would have been
Minus Y.
X minus 5 years. Similarly, B's age 5 years ago, B's age 5 years ago would have been Y minus 5 years. Yeah, it's not 5 minus X. Percentage minus 5, not 5 minus X. Percentage is X minus 5. Percentage Y minus 5. Ages 5 years ago. Now, what is it about their ages 5 years ago? What is the condition given? A was thrice as old as B. This is one information. 5 years ago, five
X
years ago,
3 into Y minus 5.
yeah, A was meaning this is A. This is A. Was meaning equal to, was, is, all this is equal to. A was, so A is X minus 5, was meaning equal to. Thrice as old as B. 3 times B, thrice meaning 3 times. 3 times, so 3 into Y minus 5, correct. Then you know how to, simplify and get the equation in X and Y. Next is 10 years later. 10 years later. So A's age 10 years later will be his percentage X plus 10 years. And B's age 10 years later will be his percentage Y plus 10. And what is it? What is given? 10 years later, A shall be twice as old as B. A shall be meaning this is A. A shall be is also equal to, will be, shall be, is, was. A shall be meaning A is equal to twice as old as B. 2 times B's age. So 2 times B's age. So 2 times B's age meaning 2 into Y plus 10. 2 into Y plus 10. This is A's age. Will be or shall be twice B's age. 2 into B's age. So get the simplify, get the equations and solve the equations for X and Y. Take a screenshot, children.
Took, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Those who have raised their hands, lower your hands, children. Yeah, now class, use the emoji. Raise your hands. Tarun Murali, Ananya, Ramanathan, Raja Rajeshwari, Kanishka, Meera, Murali Krishna, Sashmin, Sneha, and Harini at the end of the meeting. All right. All right, children. So that's it for today's session. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you,
Leave
ma'am.
the call.
Good night.
Yeah. Thank you, children.